Joining me now is Republican Senator Tom Cotton, who has a new bill to end U.S. dependence on Chinese manufactured pharmaceuticals, which is something we've been talking a lot here about in recent days. Senator, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today. I guess the big question is, and what Ben Shapiro gets at here, is does this fundamentally change our relationship with China? And can we trust the government of China anymore? The president has wanted to have a good relationship with President Xi, but there's definitely been a betrayal of information here.
No, Martha, I have never trusted a communist, and I never will trust a communist. And that's who runs China, is the Chinese Communist Party. China doesn't deserve to be trusted. As the president said, they unleashed this pandemic on the world. In early December, they knew that there was some kind of outbreak happening with the novel coronavirus in Wuhan. If they had acted quickly, rather than lying to their own people, suppressing the whistleblowers and lying to the world, then not only China, but U.S. and other scientists and researchers and epidemiologists and other experts from around the world could have helped them contain this in Wuhan or in Hubei province. Yeah. But look what we have now, a pandemic and a severe global recession, again, because of the Chinese Communist Party's dishonesty, corruption, and incompetence.
But, in the early stages, President Trump said, I had a long talk with President Xi today. He's got it under control. They're handling it. That was definitely the message. So, a question that I would have for him at this point is, will you ever say that again? Will you ever trust him? We have so many sort of, intertwining economies, so many issues between our two countries, so much debt that they hold of ours. Can we ever have those kind of conversations again and work with them again?
Well, Martha, simply because we can't trust a communist like Xi Jinping doesn't mean that we don't have to talk with them. As Ronald Reagan said when he talked to Soviet leaders, trust but verify. Right. So, of course, President Trump has to maintain open lines of communication with all of our adversaries around the world. However, we cannot trust China to continue to manufacture our pharmaceuticals, things like antibiotics and penicillin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, to say nothing of dozens of other basic pharmaceutical ingredients. That's why I would say that the military, Health and Human Services, meaning Medicare and Medicaid, the VA, can no longer buy drugs that are sourced from China. And I would give incentives for companies to bring manufacturing of basic pharmaceuticals back to the United States. Now,
we've talked to Senator Rubio about a similar bill. We've also highlighted a bill that is from Senator Menendez and Senator Blackburn of Tennessee. So why are there so many, I guess? And when can we expect that this will pass in the Senate and get rolling?
Well, Martha, there's a lot of different approaches. What we do is use the purchasing power of the entire United States government, every agency in the United States government that buys pharmaceuticals at scale. We don't say study the problem. We don't say form a commission, get back to us. We just tell them within a certain amount of time, stop buying these drugs. And on the same time, we provide incentives so we can start making those drugs here.
Yeah, it seems like something that we ought to be able to start now. We have all these wonderful pharmaceutical companies. We have, manufacturing capacity in this country, and we're going to need job growth, I think, obviously. Who would have said that even 2 or 3 weeks ago? But that's the situation that we're in now. So it would be great to see, sort of an American push to bring some of this manufacturing back here so we're not so reliant. Your home state has 62 cases today, up from 33 yesterday. What's your reaction to those numbers, to that doubling, which we've seen in a lot of places today?
Yeah, it's sad, but it's not surprising, Martha. Our governor is taking the initiative. He just announced that all restaurants and bars will be shut down to any kind of dine-in service, the way some states that have many more cases have. I think he made the right decision. We're working very carefully with our state authorities to make sure they have proper testing protocols as well. And schools are in session right now like they are in so many other places. Our governor shut down schools about a week ago. Again, that's a tough decision, but it was the right decision. Yeah. The way we get people back to work, the way we get the economy back up on its feet is to stop the spread of this virus as quickly as possible. So the steps you've seen taken in Arkansas are prudent steps, and they're going to be taken, I think, all around the country soon.
And we do that by staying home and by limiting our activities dramatically. And I think, everybody knows that. We need to pull together and to pull that off, and we're going to watch that that curve flatten, like we've heard from Dr. Fauci so many times. Just a separate topic before I let you go here. This is a quote from the Washington Post today about testing, which obviously we were behind on. This is an issue that is, something I think we all just have to be sort of straightforward about. But now this is what's happening. It says on the same day that Utah Jazz player Rudy Gobert fell ill in Oklahoma and was tested for the coronavirus this month, a female paramedic lay in a Tulsa hospital bed a little more than 100 miles away, unable to obtain a test. And then you hear that, all of these NBA players have been tested, and people want to know, is there fairness in that? And how is that happening?
Yeah, Martha, it sounds like in some cases there may not be fairness. People should be tested if their doctors think they should be tested. Generally, that means they're symptomatic. I think in retrospect, there'll be some stories that make you and me and most Americans irate. Now, hopefully those stories are being overtaken by events as the availability of tests gets more and more widespread across our country. But tests should be directed by medical professionals, not by one's wealth or celebrity or status in our society.
Yeah. I mean, this is the United States of America. If a doctor wants someone to have a test, they ought to be able to get it. And we know those are ramping up, and we hope that it is a case where every doctor who needs one is going to be able to get one. Senator Cotton, thank you. You're a lot of things, but I don't think you're a medical doctor, right?
I'm not a doctor. I will say, though, that I know what the Chinese Communist Party has been up to for a long time, and that's why I've been worried about what had happened in Wuhan for so long.
Well, thank you, and keep us posted on your bill and your legislation, and it's a good effort. Thank you, Senator. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, Martha.